I'm fully expecting that upon release of the film, there will be a second wave of critical hatred for the film, which is, again, one of the things that has happened, not just to your film, but it's happened to nearly any film these days that does anything that crosses the woke. I mean, I recently had a conversation with J.D. Vance, author of Hillbilly Elegy, about how the critics went after Hillbilly Elegy and just burned it to the ground, because the idea behind Hillbilly Elegy was that you might want to take some of these rural white folks seriously, and the critics had decided in the meantime that, nope, after the movie got greenlit, now was not the time to take rural white folks seriously. We couldn't do that anymore, and they decided to just burn it all the way down. So what do you think is the answer to that? Because we are seeing this vast gap emerge between what the critics think about films and what the audiences think about films. Hillbilly Elegy has 20-some% on Rotten Tomatoes. It's got an 85% approval rating among audiences. I'm sure that Run, Hide, Fight will have a 0% or a 5% or a 14% on Rotten Tomatoes, and the audience ratings are going to be above 90%. What in the conservative community should we, and the more mainstream community, should we be doing about this?
I would love to take Biden at his word for unity, but it's never going to happen. It's not happening. So I really believe that it's possible for both sides to work together and to get along and to make movies and work in the same workplace. I totally believe it's possible. But I also think we're entering into probably an 8-year period of tribalism and people sort of going into their own corners. And I think that if people want to watch movies like this and continue to consume content that isn't preaching a message to them and jamming a sort of a secular worldview down their throats, then they have to support a conservative economy. And by that, I mean everything, a conservative Hollywood alternative, any of it, right? So I think ultimately, it has to, I don't like it. I didn't want this to, I thought I was going to be, living in LA, running a movie studio by now. And here I am, in my own independent lane, but in a way I'm happier now than I ever would have been there. And I know those people. They're still my friends. They're unhappy. They're insecure. They're confused about the lockdowns and living in California under Gavin Newsom. They're confused about all this. They're moving to Texas. They're calling me. Even my sort of lovely liberal friends. And I'm encouraging them, get out. And it's across the board. If your company is pushing a critical race theory on you, get out of that company. If you're going to a college and your professor is pushing an agenda on you, speak up and push back. Now, I know I have a privileged position because of my stature and my financial situation and things like that. So I understand it's tough. But I promise you, we will create enough infrastructure on the other side of the fence to give landing pads and places to work and make movies for people who don't want to work in that industry anymore. And I'm still in the industry right now. I've got a movie at New Line that they say they're going to make this year. I sold a movie to Netflix. It's coming out in a couple of months. I've got a movie with the folks who made John Wick. I mean, I'm still in the business, right? I talk to the agencies all the time. So I'm still 1 foot in, 1 foot out. But if I had to choose today, I'm out and I'm going this direction. And I'm so excited about it. I think it's going to be a big move.
I hope you enjoyed that clip from the Ben Shapiro Show Sunday Special. If you did, go ahead and hit the subscribe button so you stay up to date on all of our future content.